And over the last couple of days, we were in Virginia, starting in Lynchburg to go see Liberty and see Clow, and then up to Lovettsville, Virginia, where we had a chance to reconnect with Jeff, which was amazing. I know after leaving, Nate and I had a chance to sit down, just kind of while we were driving, and then we went to go eat dinner, just kind of to go over just the last 10 years of how our life has gone, and just how pivotal Jeff was to both of us. I know, not speaking for Nate, but just for me personally, I know it was absolutely amazing to have a chance to see him again and kind of walk through and relive all of those moments where, you know, going from somebody who didn't know the Lord, from somebody who was, you know, I always refer to that Joe as just being a terrible human being, doing all kinds of God knows what, really bad things that nobody should be doing. And just having the chance to go to Florida Bible and having that one day, that one spiritual emphasis week where on Friday, on that one day, you know, Jeff stood up on stage with his big helmet of rusty nails. I remember talking to Jeff about how cool I thought it was that even though when he invited everybody who had already trusted Christ as their Savior and who had been fighting the good fight, running the race, when he invited all of them to go get their little nail on stage, how although I was the only one left sitting down, it was super cool that he still spoke to everybody who was still left as if there was a large group, although I was the only one. Where he's still, oh, and if there is, for the rest of you that are still out there, although I was literally the only guy still there. And that was cool. And that just kind of started what ended up being, you know, a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years of having a chance to get to know Jeff better. And him just really guiding me and mentoring me and what it meant to be a Christian and what it was to walk in the faith with integrity, which is something that Jeff always stood for, both in the church and outside of the church, just in his regular day life. And it was something that sadly we don't always see in the church, we don't always see among members of the church and among, or rather within the way that the church structure works or whatever. And I know that I most certainly wouldn't be, not only would I not be here, but I wouldn't be the person that I am today if it wasn't for Jeff. Because I know although, you know, the Lord gracious enough to, you know, put other people in my life like Nate, like Clell, that continued to guide me, it was definitely Jeff that rooted me strongly in the Word, and how to read the Word, and how to interpret it, and how to apply it. And I'm super glad that it was Jeff and not somebody else, without, you know, the knowledge that Jeff had, without the integrity that Jeff had, without the ability to clearly communicate the way that Jeff was able to. And I just know I'm just having a chance to reflect on all of that. I can point to fewer people who've had a bigger impact on my life than Jeff has, and it was super, super awesome to be able to see him.
Direction, not intention, determines our destiny. Now, before you get the idea of cleaning pools, you think of Malibu Barbie kind of cleaning pools. That, you know, the guys in the white shirt and everything, or South Florida, it's like, you know, he's a buff tan, and he's like, no. Virginia has seasons. California and Florida don't have seasons. So what does that mean? That means there are dead things in these pools. For a long time, all right? And there may be something as small as frogs and worms, but sometimes they get even bigger. And I won't gross you out, although I really want to. I gotta remember, I'm not talking high school kids all the time. but what happens is, here's a principle I've learned about pools, all right? If you've been working, I've been around them, you cannot walk on water. Now it's deep, wasn't it? You know,
people
Good.
get
Someone's
on
record
board.
the history here.
This is too good.
You can call.
Jeff McCann was extremely influential in my life. When I was just a teenager, our little youth group would take trips in the summer to summer camps that were directed by Jeff. Hundreds of kids would come from all over, and there Jeff would teach the Bible in such a way that it really, as a teenager, I was able to connect with it. And those were probably the single most influential things that made me want to know the Lord, made me want to serve the Lord, and really helped me to the point where after I graduated high school, I went off to Liberty University to study the Bible. And the summer after my freshman year, I was so privileged and blessed to be able to go down to Florida and work underneath Jeff as an intern and help assist him in the very things that were influential in my life, like the summer camps. And he was the first to give me an opportunity to speak in front of a group every Sunday morning and to lead worship on Wednesday nights. And then as the years went on, obviously distance had kept Jeff and I a little separated, but still just watching his ministry from afar was just like an anchor to me, to know that I could always count on Jeff as that consistent model of what a man is, a man who loves the Lord and proclaims the Lord's word. And as Joe mentioned, I believe Jeff is the definition of integrity. Him and guys like my dad, a very rare breed, but they model such integrity. And so here I am, 30 years old, but I still push on and want to know the Lord and want to be used of the Lord. And still what is so influential in my life is watching the ministry of a person like Jeff McCann. So it was really great for Joe and I to connect with Jeff here just recently, and we look forward to the days and months and years to come.